Have you ever felt like the line between you and her is always blurred? Not close in a healthy way, just undefined. She shares everything, expects everything, and somehow your space starts shrinking without a single argument. You're always available, always adjusting, always letting things slide because you don't want to seem cold. And slowly, your time, your energy, and your priorities stop feeling like your own. It shows up in subtle moments, when she oversteps but smiles while doing it, when no feels awkward to say, when your boundaries feel negotiable but hers are solid, nothing dramatic, nothing you can easily point to, just a growing sense that the relationship is taking more than it's giving back. Most men are taught that real connection means total access, that if someone loves you, there shouldn't be walls. But boundaries aren't walls, they're structure. And without structure, closeness turns into intrusion. This video isn't here to make you guarded or distant. It's here to help you recognize when a lack of boundaries is quietly costing you your sense of self. Now let us move into the very first signs. Not loud red flags, not dramatic warnings, but real, everyday behaviors that feel familiar. So familiar that many men have seen them, lived through them, and never gave them the right name. Sign 1. Oversharing, too soon, getting close, way too fast. Behavior. After just a few days or a few weeks, she tells you everything. Old wounds, past trauma, family secrets, failed relationships. Suddenly, you are the only one who truly understands her. The psychology behind it, she confuses intimacy with attachment. To her, pouring out emotions feels like closeness. But real bonding is built over time through consistent behavior, not by unloading a whole life story in one week. Common mistake men make. You think, she must trust me because I am special. And you step into the role of the healer. You invest emotionally, very early and very deeply before the two of you truly know each other. How to respond in the her logic spirit. You do not shut her down. You simply keep a slower pace. You listen, but you do not rush to take on the role of her savior. You observe. After she shares everything, does she stand stronger on her own, or does she keep dumping more on you? If this sounds familiar, comment yes. Sign 2. She does not respect your time behavior. She calls and texts whenever she wants. If you are busy, she gets upset. If you have your own plans, she gets angry. You start feeling like you need permission just to live your own life. The psychology emotion over reality. When she feels the need to connect, she wants it immediately, regardless of your schedule, your responsibilities, or your goals. Mistake men make. You drop your own life to keep the peace. You train yourself to always be available, and you trade away your rhythm, your focus, your direction. The right response, you do not argue, you keep your schedule. You say clearly, I am busy, I will call you later. And then you do exactly that. You observe. Does she respect your life or only respect you when you are free? If you have ever had to ask permission just to be busy, like the video. Sign 3. She gets hurt when you set boundaries behavior. You set very normal limits. You do not share your phone. You do not cancel your plans. You do not agree to something. And she gets sad, angry, or says you do not care about her. The psychology. She sees boundaries as emotional rejection. To her, if you love someone, you should always be open and available. Mistake men make. You pull your boundaries back to keep her happy. You start saying yes when inside you mean no. How to respond with her logic. You do not over-explain. You keep your boundary and keep your tone calm. The right woman will respect your limits. She will not punish you for having them. What do these 3 patterns have in common? It is not that she is bad. It is that she does not have healthy boundaries for herself or for others. Her logic is not here to judge women. It is a way of seeing. You observe repeated behavior, you read the patterns, and you protect your self-respect. No controlling, no baseless suspicion. Just seeing clearly what is actually happening instead of calming yourself with hope. In the next part, we will go deeper into the signs that make you start carrying her emotions for her and slowly losing your own identity. By this point, if you are still watching, it is probably because something inside you has started to feel like uncomfortable. Not because the content is heavy, but because you see yourself in it. And this is where we move into the deeper signs. The patterns that do not just affect the relationship, but directly affect your identity. Sign 4. She blames you for her emotions' behavior. She feels sad and it is because of you. She gets angry and you are the one who has to fix it. She feels anxious and you have to calm her down, solve it, carry it for her. You start hearing things like, it is because of you that I feel this way. If you cared more, I would not be sad. The psychology. She does not take responsibility for her own emotions. Everything inside her gets pushed outward and placed on you. Mistake men make you carry everything. You think, I am a man, it is my job to make her okay. And slowly, you become the emotional manager of another person, where the real danger is not in her behavior. But in the moment, you start believing that other people's emotions are your responsibility. Metaphor. It is like you are steering a ship, but every storm in the ocean is blamed on you. Sign 5, no sense of mine versus yours, behavior. She decides for you. She checks your phone. She controls your schedule. She interferes in your relationships. And when you feel uncomfortable, she says, I do this because I care. The psychology, she confuses attachment with fusion. To her, love means no boundaries, no you and me, only us in a way that erases the individual. Mistake men make you let it slide. You think she only does this because she loves me. And slowly, you allow someone else to move deep into your private space. What is dangerous? Not that she cares too much, but that you start disappearing inside this relationship. Metaphor. It is like pouring two colors of paint together. At first it looks nice, but in the end you cannot tell which color was originally yours. What do these patterns have in common? It is not that she is bad. It is not that she wants to hurt you. The most dangerous part is this. You start justifying everything. You tell yourself, love means a man has to carry. Maybe I am just too sensitive. But in reality, you are using logic to cover up a very simple truth. This relationship is making you smaller. It is like a broken compass. You are still moving, but every step takes you farther away from yourself. If you are at this stage, hear this carefully. If you are carrying emotions, time, and identity for two people, then you are no longer in a balanced relationship. And you are not alone. Many responsible, trusting men have been here, not because they were weak, but because they were never taught how to hold boundaries and still be kind. If you are at this stage, you are not by yourself. And if this content helps you see more clearly, consider subscribing to Her Logic, not to learn tricks, but to keep a clear, grounded perspective in the most important relationships of your life. In the final part, we will flip a familiar belief. Trying a little more becomes knowing when to stop. By this point, you might have a very familiar thought in your head. I just need to try a little harder. Try a little more so she feels okay. Try a little more so things are less tense. Try a little more to hold on to a relationship you have already invested too much in to walk away from. But that exact mindset is the trap. Now let us flip the frame. The most dangerous sign is not her. It is you. It is not that she needs you too much. It is not that she is emotionally unstable. It is not that she has no boundaries. The real danger is this. You forgot that you also deserve protection. You protect her feelings. You protect her moods. You protect the stability of the relationship. But who is protecting you? You start living by a very dangerous rule in your head. As long as she is okay, I can take a little pain. And then something happens. You get used to swallowing your emotions. You get used to apologizing for things you did not cause. You get used to shrinking your own needs so no one gets upset. You stop asking, am I okay? You only ask, is she okay? That is not mature love. That is erasing yourself to keep someone else. Now let us reposition what self-respect really means. Self-respect is not being cold. Self-respect is being clear. It means knowing this. Your emotions are your responsibility. Her emotions are her responsibility. Your time is your asset. Your identity is not meant to dissolve. You can love deeply, but you do not have to disappear to prove it. And this is where her logic needs to be stated one last time in its true form. Her logic does not teach you to control women. Her logic does not teach you to doubt without reason. Her logic teaches you to look at repeated behavior, not words. Read the patterns, not the promises. Protect your self-respect, even when you still love. Her logic is a way of thinking. Love, but do not lose yourself. Here is the core message. Self-respect is greater than trying to please someone who never knows when to stop. Everyone goes through an immature phase, but you do not have to pay for that phase with your identity. Now, the closing question for you, if today you only look at repeated behavior, not at words, not at hope, is this relationship making you stronger or is it making you smaller? If that question hits you, leave a comment. And if you want to keep a clear, grounded perspective without becoming bitter or lying to yourself, subscribe to Her Logic. We are not here to blame anyone. We are here to not lose ourselves.